and address many of the issues that still remain that seem to have occurred in the monopoly that Berkshire Hathaway has, and that they're currently generated $4.5 billion this year in net income so far, and that then you want to just touch on what's back in 2017, the $8 million that they overcharged, and then it's just only grown to what I heard 17 million. Now it's 30 million that they're overcharging. So that subject, of which then goes to what they plan to do with, I was trying to get my head around what is this demand project billing. Well, hey, everybody's used to this demand ticketing prices. You want to do a concert? But that's by choice. People's power is not something of choice for Las Vegans. They have to have power. At peak times, we all get up or go back to our homes when the sun goes down. And this is partly the understanding that the battery systems are more expensive, but not something that are free, but the sun is. The projects that are out there across Nevada with the big data center up north and requiring what would be the green line going to property that out of BC, they don't want to see that property up in Esmeralda County sold or traded off, that BLM land. No, they want to go to Lincoln County, where it's not in the plan to make the green link make its loop around to the new big massive data center. That was something else that I brought up at a meeting before. The consumer should not be subsidizing the energy need of data centers. And which the crowd is much different than I was here before. Everybody was attorneys and in ties and coats and representing big business, as well as there was what proposed 35 experts representing Nevada Power, Nevada Energy. Is that my beat?
That is your beat, Mr. Davis. Did you have one more point, or are you done?
Well, it was just that the new plans to connect Utah, Arizona, California, and Wyoming into lines that would be in this article. I'll even let you have it. How the Western power grid could be stitched together. And if we're being billed separately and differently than everybody else that's stitched together is my question. And I'll leave this article if you don't get the Sun.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Yesenia Castro. I want to thank the Commission for giving the public a chance to speak today. I'm here on behalf of the Nevada Conservation League, but also as someone who loves her community. I'm a single mom living in West Las Vegas, a community made up of hardworking families. Many of us who come from low-income households who are just trying to survive. But everything costs more now, and we are getting less. Utility rates are rising twice as fast as inflation in Nevada, and now NV Energy is adding another rate hike on top of a new confusing fee. A daily demand charge based on the 15 minutes you use the most energy each day, even if you're conserving power the rest of the time. For many families like mine, that peak 15 minutes is when we get home from work, turn on the lights, cook dinner, and try to control the temperature in our homes. This fee could mean an extra $27 to $50 a month for families who are already struggling. Just a few weeks ago, KTNV reported that NV Energy, the monopoly we're forced to rely on, had actually overcharged more than 100,000 Nevadans over $17 million for the last 20 years. Yep. They didn't come forward to make it right. It was everyday people like all of us in this room who uncovered it. NV Energy originally didn't offer full refunds, only a tiny fraction of that money back. That's not just bad business, that's betrayal. The consequences were real. Those overcharges led to shutoffs. People like me lost power in dangerous heat waves. That's more than just a billing issue, it's a public health crisis. My daughter can't sleep through 110-degree nights without AC. I can't store medication safely without power. And while equipment was damaged by their own mistakes, they tried to make families like mine pay for it. NV Energy and Southwest Gas still try to pass the cost of spa days and limos to us. We deserve real accountability. Decisions that deeply impact our lives, like raising rates, changing solar billing, and approving this new demand charge, should balance everyday Nevadans like me and our interests in a fair, impartial manner. I urge the Public Utilities Commission of Nevada to demand transparency and fairness from these utilities to be more prudent, efficient, economically responsible, and reliable. No more luxury charges, no more blocking clean, affordable solutions like rooftop solar or energy efficiency, no more confusing charges like the daily demand charge that will make it harder for families to manage costs, no more excuses. I'm standing here not just as an advocate, but as a mother, as someone who knows what it means to go without, as someone who represents a community that's been overlooked and overcharged. Now it's up to this commission to keep the pressure on and make sure that Nevadans are heard, protected, and prioritized. Thank you.
And I'm gonna ask folks to not do a lot of clapping, just because there's gonna be a lot of agreement, I think, in the room, and it's gonna take a lot of time if I have to stop and let everybody clap. So try doing like the Girl Scout snapping, or maybe the little single hand claps. I like all of those. So the next two cards I have are John McDonald. Okay, and then I have Elizabeth Becker.
Hello, my name is John McDonald. I'll try to speak quickly. I'm here to voice my strong opposition to the Commission's approval of Nevada Power's daily demand request. I'll be referencing docket 25-02016. The daily demand charge is a violation of the mandatory, prohibiting mandatory time of use charges and also the net metering rules. At best, the daily demand charge is a blatant circumvention of these rules. The NV Energy can call it whatever they want to, but it does not change the fact that the daily demand charge is a mandatory time of use charge. The daily demand charge changes the net benefit of homeowners for investing in solar. Daily demand charge is extremely regressive and will hurt lower income households and retirees much more. The Commission openly acknowledges the daily demand charge will adjust the net effect of the homeowners in solar investment. Page 140, section 594 of docket 25-02016. Commission says, the evidence suggests that the NEM ratepayers will see a change in their bills. It is extremely regressive. NV Energy's own words provide proof that the daily demand charge is highly regressive. Page 136, section 582, Nevada Power. New technologies such as programmable appliances, smart thermostats, and energy management applications makes the daily demand charge manageable and practical for customers to be active participants in their energy management. The Commission is also aware of how regressive the daily demand charge is. Page 147, section 626, Commission. To provide some limited relief to our lower income customers, the Commission at this time reduces the Nevada Power Rate Class RS residential basic service charge from $18.50 to $18, 50 cents per month. That is egregious. The Commission needs to remember that they are the Public Utility Commission and that the public created the Commission and it gave it the power that it wields. We have a quickly emerging energy crisis on the horizon. The demand for electricity growing exponentially faster than the supply can be increased. Residential solar is the fastest way to increase the supply to meet demand. It should be encouraged, not penalized. The public needs to know that the The public needs to know that the Public Utility Commission is keeping the public as their focus and not just doing what is in the best interest of a for-profit utility. And this is not a threat, and it's not a promise, but it is a fact. If we have to go to, if we have to do a ballot initiative, we should do a second one also, amending Chapter 703, which is what created the commission. And the public has given you guys your power, and we absolutely can take it away.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Go ahead, Scott.
Thank you. My name is Elizabeth Becker, and I'm speaking on behalf of Chris Giunkiliani today. She apologizes for not being in attendance, but had meeting conflicts. I'm writing today to oppose the rate increases and billing changes that PUC approved last month. A report was issued that stated, state energy regulators also ordered NV Energy to inform them what effect increases will have on customers by October 1st. Has the PUC and the public been informed about the effect by the October 1st date as ordered and promised? If so, where is the report? The newly proposed daily demand charges scheme is very bothersome. I am unable to find anywhere else in the country that uses this new way to assess rates for residential and small businesses. Have there been any studies on the impact? If not, I'd urge the PUC to consider rescinding their order and instead do a pilot in various parts of the state to assess pros and cons on the consumer, especially since it shifts a customer's bill from how much electricity is consumed over a day to how much electricity is needed at a single point in time. Can someone explain or show an analysis of cost impacts from the utility which shifts from the current practice of basing bills off the amount of power used by customers each month, which I think is referred to as volumetric pricing? Since in Nevada, large businesses already pay a daily demand charge, there should be a mechanism to determine impacts on small businesses and residential customers. And why is this new scheme in addition to the current volumetric portion of our bills? And customers will still be charged a basic service charge fee on top of this new scheme. Supposedly, the change would encourage customers to level out their energy usage throughout the day, thus reducing strain on the grid during times of peak energy use. This assumes working people and those with 2 jobs have the ability to level out their usage. Even the Nevada Bureau of Consumer Protection said that the proposed demand charge will lead to customer confusion and disproportionately affect low-income households. Then to top off this new billing scheme, PUC agreed to let NV Energy charge its Southern Nevada customers for a sizable portion of the under construction $4.2 billion partially permitted transmission project known as Greenlink. Why are customers in Southern Nevada subsidizing this project? What say did we have? It appears Southern Nevada customers will cover 70% of Greenlink's cost, while Northern Nevada customers will fund 30%. NV Energy should pay for its experimental lines, and then, when completed, consumers and PUC should determine whether to be assessed. The following was also reported. Quote, the commission makes this decision with the unfortunate realization that representations made by NV Energy's former chief executive officer were either misleading or factually inaccurate, end quote, referring to statements by former CEO Doug Cannon, who left the company earlier this year. In 2021, Cannon stated the utility would bring $2.5 billion to the table for the Greenlink project, adding that Nevadans will not be asked to pay for this investment until at least 5 to 6 years down the road. Well, he said it, and therefore we should not be asked to pay, especially at this time. That commitment should stay in place and not be excused with an oops, he lied, but he's no longer here. The cash flow problems, one more sentence, weren't caused by consumers, and we shouldn't be the ones to subsidize their problem. I urge the PUC to rescind its order and to require an independent analysis of the impact of the new billing scheme. Sincerely, Chris Giunkiliani.
Thank you. Okay, the next names I have are Dr. House and Allison Farr. Dr. House, you can go first.
My name is Dr. Mary House, and I serve as CEO of CHR Inc. For decades, we have helped households and families in Southern Nevada overcome poverty, find stable employment, and access critical services. Many of the people we serve live on a low or fixed incomes and are doing everything they can just to get by. That's why I'm here today, to speak about the urgent need to make our utility system more affordable, fair, and accountable for Nevadans. I do appreciate the commission in taking on the ranges of issues, including the NV Energy overcharge and fuel costing sharing investigation, but those are only a part of the problem. Electricity is not a luxury, it's a necessity. But right now, utility bills are too high and too unpredictable for the people that I work with. I represent families and seniors who are stretched at their breaking point. Parents are working multiple jobs, but still can't keep up with their power bills. Older adults on fixed incomes are turning off their air conditioning in the middle of the summer, while those who are physically able seek cool air in public places to save money. Some are skipping meals or rationing medicine just to avoid discontinued notices. These are not isolated stories. This is happening all across our community. What makes this harder is to accept that it is so much of the problem that comes from NV Energy's own actions. We've seen the utility overcharge about 100,000 customers and try to bill us for their luxury expenses and push for confusing demand charges and rate increases again and again and again and again. And the people I work with shouldn't have to be forced to pay the company's greed, mistakes, or perks. Nevadans deserve a fair system. The commission is right to scrutinize NV Energy's overcharges and inappropriate expenses. But I also urge you to bring the same level of scrutiny to every single proposal this monopoly brings forward. Their plans and rate cases show little understanding of the affordability pressures that my community faces. And I hope and pray that one day, with the support of the commission, that we as consumers will know what it feels like just to have an affordable utility bill that won't affect our everyday expenses. Thank you for holding this session.
Thank you, Dr. House. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Dr.
Thank you, Commissioners, for holding this consumer session following the recent ransomware attack. We appreciate your commitment to ensuring continued public participation despite the challenges this fall. My name is Allison Farr. I'm here on behalf of Solar United Neighbors. I want to express our deep concerns specifically for the recent decision, specifically for the $148 million rate hike, the residential daily demand charge in Southern Nevada, and the 15-minute netting change to new solar customers in Northern Nevada. I echo the wonderful remarks already, and I'm sure more to come, and we've also submitted written comment as well. These policies have significant long-term implications for affordability, customer choice, and Nevada Clean Energy's future. The daily demand charge places the highest burden on working class and low-income neighbors and renters who have less flexibility regarding their electricity usage. They will see higher bills even if they use less energy overall. In practice, the structure is confusing, regressive, and discourages conservation rather than rewarding conservation. We are also deeply disappointed by the shift from monthly to 15-minute netting in Northern Nevada, effectively ending net metering. It will slash savings from the new solar customers. It makes rooftop solar less accessible for middle-class income families trying to control their bills, and undermines the investments that directly benefit all the ratepayers in reducing peak demand on the grid. As both an NV Energy customer and a rooftop solar owner, I can say that my family chose to go solar because the forecast said that the panels would pay for themselves within 10 years under monthly net metering. Without that, we couldn't have afforded it. Right now, my bills are under $200 a month in the summer, and they were at $700 a month. So that's a huge difference. It's hard for ratepayers to trust NV Energy's rationale with all of these changes, particularly when they're under investigation for overcharging customers. Hundreds of our members have signed a petition that oppose these rate hikes and see them as unfair and harmful to Nevada families. We urge the Commission to prioritize trust, transparency, and equity before approving any further utility-led rate design changes. We also encourage you to revisit the daily demand charge and the 15-minute netting decisions, and I appreciate your time and consideration. I also have a flyer with a QR code to our petition, so can I present that to you?
Yeah, why don't you give it to one of the folks outside?
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
Super, thank you. Okay, the next name I have is Aaron Susurus. Okay, and then Nick Christensen. Go ahead.
How's it going? I'm here today as a concerned resident and ratepayer to speak against NV Energy's proposed rate hike and daily demand charges. NV Energy claims most customers will see lower bills, but that relies on assumptions that don't reflect how real people live and work. Local daycares, small businesses, and working families can't just turn off their air conditioning during a 110-degree summer day to avoid 15-minute peak charge. This new rate structure punishes people for basic survival. We're also being asked to accept higher rates, while NV Energy continues to invest millions in lobbying and political campaigns to protect its monopoly. In 2018, the company reportedly spent over $63 million to defeat a ballot initiative that would have allowed energy competition in Nevada. That is ratepayer money that could have gone towards grid modernization, reducing outages, improving efficiency, or actually lowering bills. Instead, we're told we have to pay even more. To me, this proves that NV Energy has only one real plan: to make more money, regardless of ethics, innovation, or customer impact. I urge the Commission to see through this. Don't sign off on another corporate windfall disguised as rate reform until NV Energy provides transparent, customer-specific data that proves this plan will truly lower bills for the majority of ratepayers, including small businesses. This proposal should not move forward. Thank you.
Can you just say your last name, because I think I mispronounced it?
Yeah, it's Ciceris.
Ciceris? Okay, thank you, Mr. Ciceris. And I do want to respond to one thing that you said, and that is the $63 million that we spent in defeating the ballot initiative. That was not ratepayer money. And part of the reason our investigatory staff and consumer advocate exists is that when the utility comes to us to ask to change rates, they look through the utility's books and records, and they look for things like, and you guys have probably seen this in the video, when they find lobbying expenses, certain luxury items, those things do not go into rates. And so I can say with confidence, at least the ballot initiative, that was a number of years ago, but that was not paid for by ratepayer money. So I'm sure there are things maybe we don't catch, but that one I'm confident on. So thank you for your comment.
All right, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Christensen.
Thank you. My name is Nick Christensen. I've been a Las Vegas resident for 22 years. My time is limited, so my complete written statement has been submitted for the record, including references. Everyone in this room knows that energy bills have gone up a lot over the last few years. Everyone who follows the energy industry knows that energy rates are almost certain to go up a lot over the next several years as well. This is because, one, companies want to build new large-scale data centers much faster than we can build supporting infrastructure. Two, the federal government wants to lean on fossil fuels and increase their export, which will drive up domestic prices. And three, the federal government is crippling clean energy development, the cheapest and fastest ways to upgrade our generation capability. These cost increases will magnify the strains Nevada families already feel over increased energy costs. Recall that the then CEO of NV Energy stood before the Nevada legislature and promised that the ratepayers would not bear the load for paying for Greenlink. Later, after legislation that approved the project and costs ballooned, NV Energy then changed their tune. Now that new clean energy projects are losing federal support and may or may not get built in Nevada, how much more will Greenlink cost the Nevada ratepayers under these circumstances? How will we be able to afford it? If these new generation projects aren't going to be built in the next few years, then we need to slam on the brakes, especially for Greenlink North, as soon as possible. Nevada ratepayers should not be responsible for picking up the tab for these all by themselves if we're not going to build the infrastructure that's supposed to pay for them. I'm not against new utility infrastructure in Nevada. We definitely need some, but this new infrastructure should benefit ratepayers, and its cost should be borne by those that it benefits. The primary beneficiaries of Greenlink are the builders and operators of the new generation, and they should be paying for the means to generate their income. If they can't pay, we shouldn't be building. Finally, recently Nevada Power Company once again asked the PUCN to approve an increase in their statutory rate of return. Given the cost consumers have had to bear and will have to bear going forward, it would be negligent to approve increases in their rates of return at this time. Instead, the PUCN should take action to mitigate increases in energy costs by reducing their statutory rate of return. Recent studies, such as the one by Werner and Jarvis at the Energy Institute at Haas, demonstrate that current rates of return are way above fair market valuation and should be reduced. Similarly, one can look at NV Energy's peer group in the market and see that with a typical price-to-book ratio approaching or in some cases exceeding 2-to-1, that the market believes that these companies provide a risk-adjusted rate of return far ahead of the value of their assets. We should listen to these market signals. Additionally, testimony by industry insider Mark Ellis at a 2022 California PUC docket also lays out the case for why statutory rates of return are far in excess of a fair return. The PUCN should take these findings seriously and look to reduce utility rates of return. The references to these information sources are available in my written statement, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the next cards I have are Antonio Garcia and Juan Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez? Mr. Garcia? That's you? Yes. Okay. Mr. Hernandez is not with us. Okay, we'll put him aside. Karina? G-O, is this? Oh, yes, okay, fantastic. Mr. Garcia, go ahead.
Buenas tardes, soy Antonio García, orgulloso miembro de Make It Road, Nevada, y en esta ocasión estoy ante ustedes con el fin de dar mi testimonio y expresar con voz fuerte y firme ante ustedes para defender los derechos de la clase social. Nevada Energy y Southwest Gas incrementan y aplican de forma desproporcionada y sin una justificación transparente. Esto representa un atentado directo contra el equilibrio económico de miles de familias de bajos y medianos recursos en nuestro estado. En un momento de crisis en que la inflación, la vivienda y los alimentos ya ejercen una presión enorme sobre el presupuesto familiar, subir los costos de los servicios básicos constituye un abuso de poder empresarial que marginan aún más a la clase trabajadora. Nosotros, como comunidad organizada, no podemos permanecer en silencio ante políticas corporativas que favorecen las ganancias por encima del bienestar humano. El acceso a la electricidad y el gas no es un privilegio, es una necesidad esencial que garantiza la seguridad, la salud y la dignidad de cada hogar. Hacemos un llamado urgente a las autoridades estatales, a la Comisión de Servicios Públicos y a los representantes electos para que investiguen, auditen y regulen las formas justas, estas tarifas, protegiendo el interés público por encima del lucro. Asimismo, exigimos que la compañía de servicios rindan cuentas ante la comunidad trimestralmente, ofreciendo transparencia en sus costos operativos, inversiones y ganancias reales, antes de imponer más cargas sobre el pueblo trabajador. Make It Road, Nevada, continúa defendiendo con firmeza el derecho de nuestras familias a vivir con dignidad, justicia y equidad económica. Exigimos justicia energética y responsabilidad social. Gracias.
Mi nombre es Corina Torres y vivo en Las Vegas, Nevada. En los pasados meses hemos enfrentado un incremento demasiado elevado en los recibos de la luz. Mi preocupación es que los costos mensuales sigan aumentando. Yo siento que esto es un abuso porque nos afecta mucho, especialmente a mi familia. Tengo hijos y mi esposo recientemente sufrió un recorte de horas en su trabajo, lo que nos ha puesto en una situación muy difícil. En estos momentos tenemos miedo de que no podamos pagar las facturas de la luz y que nos corten, lo cual nos afectaría muchísimo. Por eso les pido que consideren el impacto que estamos teniendo en los aumentos de la luz. En las familias trabajadoras también, y vivimos en un estado donde los climas son extremosos y perder el acceso a la energía puede poner en riesgo nuestra salud y bienestar. Les pido a los legisladores y a quien tome decisiones que piense en las familias como la mía. Necesitamos tarifas más justas y accesibles para poder vivir con dignidad y estabilidad. Que se escuche nuestra voz y se tome acciones para proteger a las familias trabajadoras de los abusos en los costos de la energía.
Just want to make a quick note that both testimonies will be turned in with English translation as well. So what they said today. Yeah, my name is Robert Garcia, RobertGarcia. Thank you.
Okay, the next two cards I have are Rick R. Okay, yes, sir. And then I also have Chris Brooks. So Mr. Barr, you can go first.
Okay, thank you. My name is Rick Barr. This is my first time at one of these meetings. I'd like to just bring up that a few years ago I purchased solar for my rooftop home. And understanding that different reasons, environmental, maybe in time it would save me money and this, that. At the time, we were told that you have the initial charge on the power bill, and then you get a reduced rate when it's bought back to you. And now they're talking about changing that. Now, buying solar panels is quite a commitment, as you all know. They're not cheap. So, you know, when you're pulling that rug out from under someone like this is the way we're going to do it, and all of a sudden, no, we want to charge you more. We're not going to uphold our end of the bargain. That's just not correct. You know, and that's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
I appreciate your comments. Mr. Brooks, go ahead.
Good evening, Commissioner Cordova and Mr. Sanders and Commission staff. My name is Chris Brooks, and I'm an NV Energy customer. And as a former Nevada State Assemblyman and Senator, as well as the primary author of Assembly Bill 405, I know the law's intent. And this is in regards to the rate design reform of recent. And to protect, the law's intent is to protect customers, support solar adoption, and empower regulators to adopt Nevada's clean energy framework to evolving grid and market realities. The Public Utilities Commission's recent decision on net metering and rate design reforms is consistent with that goal. AB 405 was not intended to permanently lock in a single set of rates, intervals, or net metering practices. It provided a foundation of consumer and solar customer rights while granting the Commission flexibility to update programs in the best interest of all Nevadans. When AB 405 was contemplated, the cost of distributed generation systems were much higher, and battery energy storage systems were in their infancy. With the dramatic decline of solar power costs and the growing implementation of battery energy storage systems, coupled with net metered systems, the technology and the industry have evolved. These reforms reflect exactly the kind of modernization the legislature envisioned, aligning compensation for solar energy more closely with actual grid needs and customer usage patterns, while increasing the value and opportunity for energy storage and energy efficiency. Regarding demand charges, AB 405 prohibits rate structures exclusively applicable to only solar customers. This is what the Commission did, and this approach is both proper and necessary to ensure that the grid can meet peak demand and that all customers share equitably in the cost of maintaining the system. Customers retain the right to generate, consume, store, and export renewable energy. Over 20 years ago, I was one of Nevada's very first solar net metered customers. I've had solar on every house that I've owned in the last over 20 years, and battery storage as well recently. I also founded and own the first company in the state providing solar net metered systems. I believe that solar net metered customers, rooftop customers, and distributed generation of solar will continue to play a vital role in helping Nevada reach its energy goals. As a former legislator familiar with the complexity and scrutiny of these decisions, I commend you for your leadership in protecting the interest of all customers and preserving the balance envisioned in Assembly Bill 405. Thank you.
Okay, the next two names I have are Hector Arreola. Hector, oh, that's you? Fantastic. And then Maria Prentice. Right, okay. Da-da.
I'm crazy.
It's cold in here, yes. Okay, Mr. Arreola, you can go first.
Okay. Hello, my name is Hector Arreola, and I am the Policy Fellow with the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition, and I'm here today because the Public Utility Commission of Nevada is failing the people of Nevada. You continue to grant the investor-owned monopoly, NV Energy, their exploitive tactics like new daily demand charges that will worsen financial stress for families and seniors, all while the utility reports record-breaking profits year after year. NV Energy requests should not be granted until they demonstrate any motives beyond increasing shareholder profits. This utility has a history of acting in bad faith by overcharging customers for 20 years and refusing to pay back the full amount they owe. NV Energy also wanted to take advantage of the investments of rooftop solar owners by slashing net metering credits, buying their excessive energy at a lower rate only to resell it at full price. They claim that non-rooftop solar households are subsidizing rooftop solar owners, which is another lie of theirs. Rooftop solar owners all pay the basic service charge that covers the cost of the maintenance of the grid. And now a new threat looms. Data centers, a new threat looms now, which are data centers. NV Energy sees them as a new path for record-breaking profits, but what everyday Nevadans see is the bill that we will be forced to pay for the new infrastructure and infrastructure maintenance they require. We will also like to see the PUCN become more accessible to consumers by providing a virtual option to participate and improving language access for community members. I speak today to draw awareness and to hold you accountable. The people of Nevada are watching you, and we will remember who you are and who you truly serve. Thank you.
Good evening. Chair Wilson and Commissioner Cordova and Brown. Good evening. My name is Maria Eugenia Prentice. Did you want me to spell it, or are you okay? Okay. Well, it's been almost a year since I lost my husband, and because of my income is very limited, and I have many debts, and related to my household and also to the hospital where my husband was treated, various hospitals. The cost of electricity is keep raising every day. I can no longer afford to pay. More now, I also have a custody of my grandson who is a minor, and I do not receive any assistance to support him. And I just have a small pension just to run my house, and he's a teenager, so you know how much that costs, right? But anyway, you can also call me Wonder Woman, because I'm always wondering in my mind. They have overcharged all these people, 70 million, is that correct? They overcharged households. And then I'm always wondering, do they overcharge their corporates when they have all the money? They have money, and not folks like us over here, and people that they can't be here. And I'm always wondering, I'm sorry, but and another one is, like, Halloween is coming. And that's fun and scary. That's only one day. But for us, it's Halloween every day, because we are scared to turn on lights, use the gas, and when we see the bill, we freak out. So, thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you very much, and sincerely, Maria Eugenia Prentice. Thank you. Good night.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Sandy Munoz? Elizabeth Flores? Yes. Okay, Ms. Flores, and then Reina Velas? Okay. Ms. Flores, you can go first. Yes.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Elizabeth Flores, vivo en Las Vegas desde hace más de 18 años y veo cada día cómo aumentan los costos de las utilidades y cómo me afectan, ya que los salarios son los únicos que no aumentan. Me he visto en la necesidad de recortar costos personales como mis medicinas para la diabetes. Preguntarán por qué. Pues la verdad es que si me cortan el servicio de la luz con estas temperaturas, no solo me afecta a mí, sino a mi familia y incluyendo a mis mascotas. Por eso pido que se ponga un alto a los precios abusivos que tienen estos proveedores, pues en la realidad la mayoría de las personas somos de clase media y media baja y no podemos pagar por tanto incremento. Gracias.
My name is Elizabeth Flores. I live in Las Vegas for more than 18 years. Every day I see how utility costs keep increasing and how they affect me, especially because wages are the only thing that don't go up. I've had to cut back on personal expenses, including my diabetes medications. You may ask why. The truth is, if my electricity gets shut off during this extreme heat, it won't just affect me. It will affect my entire family, including my pets. That's why I'm asking you to put a stop to the abusive price increases by these providers. The truth is that most of us are working as middle-class people, and we simply can't afford these constant rate hikes. Thank you, Elizabeth Flores.
Mi nombre es Reina Vélez, soy voluntaria de Chispa, Nevada. Quiero expresar mi profunda preocupación por los constantes incrementos en las tarifas de electricidad, gas y agua. En nuestro hogar somos 2 personas y dependemos únicamente de la pensión de mi esposo, la cual es bastante baja para el nivel de vida actual. Cada aumento en las tarifas nos obliga a hacer sacrificios dolorosos. En enero, mi factura de electricidad subió $100 y ahora pagamos alrededor de 300 al mes. Esto representa más de 3.600 al año solo en energía, lo cual es insostenible. Las oportunidades laborales son limitadas por la edad y las condiciones de salud. En mi casa, vivo con diabetes y artritis reumatoide, lo cual me impide realizar muchas actividades diarias. Además, en mi familia también enfrentamos problemas de asma y alergia debido a las condiciones ambientales. Reconozco que se han aprobado leyes como la AB 452 y la ISB 442, y me alegra que se les dé seguimiento. Sin embargo, es fundamental que las decisiones de esta comisión prioricen el bienestar y la salud de las familias por encima de las ganancias corporativas. Por todo lo anterior, les pido con urgencia no autoricen más incrementos en las tarifas de los servicios públicos. Las familias ya no podemos soportar esta carga económica. Muchas gracias.
My name is Reina Vélez, and I'm a volunteer with Chispa, Nevada. I want to express my deep concern regarding the constant increases in the rates of electricity, gas, and water. In my household, there are only 2 of us, and we rely solely on my husband's pension, which is very low compared to the current cost of living. Each rate increase forces us to make painful sacrifices
Mi nombre es Alicia Cruz y soy madre de familia, voluntaria de Chispa, Nevada. Hoy estoy aquí porque me preocupan los altos costos de electricidad. En medio de una crisis económica, los altos precios de electricidad han acumulado una carga financiera muy difícil para nuestros hogares. Como residentes de Las Vegas, me alegra ver que PUCN ha abierto. Oh, sorry. Ha abierto los dockers. Sí. Para poder dar seguimiento a las leyes y propuestas legislativas y que la comunidad pueda participar. Estos aumentos nos han dejado sin oportunidad de ahorro. Los altos precios energía, no son justos porque mientras ellos se enriquecen, nosotros como residentes pagamos la electricidad día a día, llevamos la carga en nuestros bolsillos. Necesitamos para que paren los aumentos de precios. No es justo que los residentes tengamos que elegir entre comida o electricidad. Le pido su apoyo y compromiso con nuestras familias para que podamos vivir dignidad. Thank you.
My name is Alicia Cruz, and I am a mother and a volunteer with Chispa, Nevada. Today I'm here because I am deeply concerned about the rising cost of electricity. In the middle of an economic crisis, the high electricity prices have created an overwhelming financial burden on our households. As a resident of Las Vegas, I am glad to see that the PUCN has opened dockets to follow up on laws and proposals allowing the community to participate. These increases have left us with no opportunity to save. NV Energy's high prices are unfair because while they profit, residents like us pay for electricity every day and carry the burden in our pockets. We need you to stop these rate hikes. It is not fair that residents are forced to choose between food or electricity. I ask for your support and commitment to our families so that we can live with dignity.
Muy buenas tardes a todos, Presidenta Williamson y comisionados Córdoba y Brown. Mi nombre es Ana González, voluntaria de Chispa, Nevada. Estoy aquí para expresarle nuestra preocupación, al igual que otras familias, en relación a los altos costos de los servicios públicos, como es el gas y la electricidad. En mi caso personal, este último ha sido un tema que incluso me ha ocasionado problemas de salud. He tenido momentos desesperantes para de alguna manera poder pagar estos recibos que año tras año van en aumento, y vale la pena mencionar que uno de los recibos de electricidad del año recién pasado sobrepasó los $1,000. Para una familia de ingresos como la mía, esas cantidades son injustas y abusivas. Debido a que no tengo otra opción, tengo que vender algunas cosas de valor para ir saliendo. Incluso de eso, a veces tengo que dejar de comprar cosas que son básicas y necesarias para mis hijas. Es por eso que no podemos olvidar el escándalo de cobros excesivos. Siguen creciendo, afectando a más de 100,000 nevadenses. Queremos que busquen otras alternativas para energía asequible, como son las energías limpias. Muchas gracias.
Good afternoon, my name is Nevadans, volunteer with Chispa, Nevada. I am here to express our concern along with other families regarding the high cost of utilities such as gas and electricity. In my case, these have even been an issue that has caused me health problems. I have had desperate moments trying to somehow pay these bills, which continue to increase year after year. It is worth mentioning that one of my electricity bills last year exceeded $1,000. que no autoricen más aumentos y que consideren reducir los costos lo más pronto posible. Es imposible pagar tarifas tan elevadas en un tiempo tan caluroso cuando la electricidad no es un lujo, sino una necesidad para sobrevivir. Les ruego que tomen en cuenta la realidad de las familias. Es injusto que pasen a ser cargos a los clientes por reparaciones que fueron causadas por la propia negligencia de la empresa de servicios públicos. Gracias. Leticia Smith, L-E-T-I-C-I-A-S-M-I-T-H. Thank you. My name is Leticia Smith, a volunteer with Tucson, Nevada. I am very concerned about our high cost electricity. In the midst of an economic crisis, NV Energy continues to raise rates, which is really impacting our families. I sincerely urge you to not authorize any further increases and to consider reducing costs as soon as possible. It is impossible to pay such high rates during such a hot season when electricity is not a luxury, but a necessity for survival. I urge you to consider the reality of these families. It is unfair to continue charging customers for repairs that were caused by the utility's own negligence. Thank you.
My name is Phil Wolf. I've been an NV Energy customer since 1978. And for the last 20 years, the escalation of increased utility bills are ridiculously outrageous. I was able to pay all 4 of my utilities and sanitation for under $100 a month before 1995. Ever since NV Energy has adopted the business models of the West Coast, you guys have been rubber stamping year after year increases and approving increases for all the utilities that are unnecessary. They're making way too much in profit to justify these increases. People are starving or struggling, I should say, not starving, but struggling to get by month to month because of these here CEOs and executives that have 6-figure salaries and they don't care. These people here, they don't care about these people. Not one bit. Not me, not you, nobody. They got their figures in, they got their paychecks in, they don't care. They could spend whatever they want to spend, and it doesn't affect them one bit. It's a shame. It really is. It's disgusting. It's really what it is. This town used to be a town of the people, for the people, and supported the people. It's no longer that. Now it's a West Coast suburb, and it's terrible. You know, I'd like to welcome all of the newcomers. Like I said, I've been here since '78. I'm hearing people are here 20, 25 years. They had no idea what it was like before. You know, NV Energy used to have pride in their business models. They would come to your house, they would evaluate, no charge. Southwest Gas, you had a problem with your stove, they would come, they would check it. If a part had to be changed on the stove, they would charge you just for the part and not for the service, and they'd go away. What happened to that model? That was a model for the consumer. What happened to it? The greed, that's what happened to it. And you guys got to stop rubber stamping all of these approvals. 13 in 1 year? How do you justify that? That's terrible. I wish I can get a 13 increases in 10 years, which I can't. I'm on Social Security, and I'm on minimum Social Security, and I got to struggle. I got to hustle every day to try to find something to do to make extra money just to pay my bills. I'm 68 years old, and I got 13 herniated discs in my back, and I still have to struggle. How do you justify this? You just have no compassion, not you as an individual, but these companies have no compassion for the individuals. They don't care. They only care about their profit margin. It's a shame. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, the next one I have is Surrounding Menza, M-E-Z-A. Okay, great. And then Dayton Vasquez.
Hello, my name is Saranda. I'm a community organizer with Faith Organizing Alliance. Families in our state are already stretched thin, living paycheck to paycheck and doing their best to make ends meet. Yet NV Energy keeps raising rates and pushing new charges that make life even harder. The daily demand charge, the cost of Greenlink, changes to solar billing, all pushed through before the public even had a chance to speak. And that's not right. Nevadans deserve a voice in decisions that affect our lives. We deserve fair, affordable, and transparent energy, not higher bills and corporate profits. I urge the Commission to stand with the people you serve and reconsider these harmful decisions. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioner. My name is Dane Vasquez. I'm here as a working class Nevadan and a ratepayer as well under NV Energy. I'm here because I'm upset, and like many others behind me as well, I know they're also upset, and a lot of other working class Nevadans are as well. NV Energy already has charges some of the highest rates in this region of the country, and now they want to take even more money from our wallets by adding a demand charge to us that punishes regular working people for us using our homes like normal. This means if I happen to run my air conditioner, cook dinner, and do laundry all at the same time, I get hit with a higher bill, even if my total usage stays the same. That's not energy management. That's a money grab, and that's plain and simple. If we're going to be honest with ourselves here, NV Energy is a monopoly owned by Berkshire Hathaway, one of the richest companies in the entire country, ran by one of the richest men in the world. They don't have to worry about power bills like we do, and because we don't have a choice either when it comes to energy here in the state, every time they raise rates, it's working class families and working class people who have to pay the price. The rich get richer and executive bonuses keep growing. Nevadans deserve a system that puts people first, not one that treats us like an ATM machine whenever it's convenient for them. The commissioner's job is to protect working class people from unfair rate changes, and it's a shame that the commission's board are helping NV Energy and enabling them for their corporate greed. I urge you to hold these utilities companies more accountable in the future and to stand with the people behind me and the working class people of the state of Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vasquez. We're going to take a break in just a minute, but I did want to just respond to one thing that someone said, and not you, Mr. Vasquez, but you can listen if you want, and that is we did have consumer sessions for the NV Energy rate case that a lot of you were speaking to this summer before the commission held hearings or made a decision in that matter. This is the general consumer session, and the purpose of it is to hear feedback on any matter that's under the jurisdiction of the commission. So I just wanted to make sure that any of you were left with the impression that there wasn't an opportunity to speak to the commission about that case. That opportunity did exist, and frankly, I recognize some of you who were there at that consumer session. So we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break and come back at 7:20 so we can continue our discussion. Thank you. Leslie Vega. Great, okay. And Elizabeth Velasquez. Elizabeth? No? Okay, Joe Rossman. Okay, come on up, sir. And then Ms. Vega, go ahead.
I think it's already on. Good afternoon, Commissioner Cordova, sir from BCP, and staff. Thank you. I want to speak specifically about docket 2502016. This order introduces a daily demand charge for every residential customer, but it assures that the public will not see an overall change to their monthly bill. That's a quote from the order that you released. Second, the order says that nearly $50 million of so-called cost shift from the net energy metering customers to non-net energy metering customers. Whether we agree with this claim or not, the Commission uses that number to justify creating a new charge on all ratepayers. You're not correcting a problem, you are moving money around, and that money still ends up with our corporate utility. Third, the order changes net metering rules. Approving this 15-minute netting only in the Sierra territory in Washoe, while imposing a different structure here in Clark County through the daily demand charge it's unfair. It's unclear to me why that would be. These changes apply only to the new net energy metering customers, so it's creating two different classes of customers for this monopoly. The Commission explicitly rejected a low-income rate structure because it would supposedly burden other customers. That doesn't sound like a policy choice. That's a policy choice, excuse me, not a nature of law. And it tells struggling families that the stability for them is never prioritized unless someone else loses. Finally, the order that you released acknowledges that Nevada Energy's own CEO made, quote, misleading or factually inaccurate representations to you and to the legislator. And then the Commission still authorized this cost recovery for the same company that you admit has been misleading. We're asking for transparency and accountability and equity. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vega. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, evening actually. My name is Joe Rossman. I put solar up in 2010, and like many others, it's a very significant investment. I can imagine just a basic small house, probably 30, 40, 50,000 now. But anyway, so we're actually mini power plants for NV Energy. Basically, every month I deliver more energy to NV Energy than what they provide to me. So that power, free of charge to NV Energy, goes to my neighbors right next door. Is that true? I'm sure it is, because they don't want to send it farther down the grid. So in effect, solar owners are subsidizing NVE because we are giving our excess energy to NV Energy for free. They're charging market rates to my neighbor for the free electricity I give to NVE. So if you would consider, because we are subsidizing NVE, the solar owners should get a lower base service charge and our rate should be reduced. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the next card I have is, I believe it's Juan Hernandez. Juan Hernandez, what's called? Okay, we'll keep going. Juan Hernandez? Oh, we do have Juan Hernandez. Fantastic. You are the next contestant on the Price is Right. Come on down. And then I also have Fred Van Dyke. Okay, sir, come on up and
sit here next to Mr. Hernandez.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Juan Hernández, soy miembro del líder de Make Road, Nevada. Soy padre de 3 hijos. Tener electricidad es una necesidad para mi familia, porque cada año se vuelve más cara y cada vez más difícil de poder pagarla. En el 2019 yo sufrí un derrame cerebral provocado por el estrés y el desempleo y falta de vivienda y comida suficiente. Gasté alrededor de $15,000 en asistencia hospitalaria y esa enfermedad me dejó secuelas permanentes. Hoy en día vivo con una discapacidad, me dificulta trabajar con normalidad y encontrar un empleo estable. Y ya con los gastos de la luz, a veces no junto para pagar, porque llega muy caro. Y una de las mayores dificultades de que no hay protección para las familias. Cuando las empresas energéticas deciden subir sus tarifas, cada aumento supone un golpe más duro, especialmente cuando los salarios siguen siendo los mismos. Sube el costo de la luz, pero el salario no. Y debido a mi salud, dependo de tener energía en casa. Simplemente no puedo prescindir de ella, porque es necesario para mí y para mi familia. Por eso les pido que protejan familias como la mía de las constantes subidas de tarifa y que reconozcan que los servicios básicos no son un lujo, sino que son esenciales para vivir. Por favor, utilicen su poder para apoyar a las familias de clase trabajadora, no solo a los que tienen dinero, sino que es urgente las familias trabajadoras, las personas con discapacidad y padres como yo, estamos luchando para sobrevivir. Si no nos unimos, podemos cambiar la narrativa y plantar cara a los sistemas que nos perjudican y oprimen juntos. Juntos podemos construir algo más justo para todos. Muchas gracias.
Okay. Thank you, commissioners, and all those joining and participating tonight. My name is Fred Van Dyke. I live in Las Vegas. I've been an NV Energy customer since 2018. I've wanted solar energy for a long time because it is clean, cheap, and does not generate dangerous carbon emissions. In 2023, we hired a local Las Vegas-based contractor and installed rooftop solar on our home. It cost around $28,000. With this investment, we contributed to a resilient electric power infrastructure in our neighborhood and in Nevada. The money went to a local company with employees who live in our community. Net metering was an important part of our decision to go solar. The changes to net metering for new solar owners is a terrible idea. It creates additional unnecessary tiers of solar ownership and adds confusion in valuing solar systems. It tilts the playing field in favor of NV Energy profiteering from dirty electricity. As a solar owner, I'm not asking for special treatment. I just want to be treated fairly. Solar owners don't want to be scapegoated for NV Energy mistakes. NV Energy continues these mistakes by investing in older polluting technology that relies on natural gas. We don't want to be forced to pay for these mistakes. We don't want electricity from fossil fuels. After their overcharging fiasco, NV Energy trust with Nevadans is at an all-time low. We want the PUC, the Commission, and NV Energy to show support for solar energy and for Nevada customers. My request to the Commission would be work for us, and by us I mean all Nevadans, be a watchdog over NV Energy. Consider the long-term health environmental and economic detriments of setting up roadblocks to solar systems, and support clean and affordable energy, support clean and affordable renewable energy for all Nevadans. Thank you.
Okay, the next card I have is Lauren Kaminsky. And then I have Andrew Cole. Okay, Ms. Kaminsky, whenever you're ready.
Hi, my name is Lauren Kaminsky, and if I look familiar, yes, I was here at the last meeting that you made reference to before the break, and I'm here again because I feel like I wasn't heard at that meeting. And from what I've heard so far, I think that most of the people here tonight don't feel heard either. I live in Henderson, Nevada, and I've been a Nevada Energy customer for 32 years and a rooftop solar owner since 2023. I'm here today out of concern for your approval of daily demand charges for customers in Southern Nevada, on top of the large rate increase. I bought my solar system right after I retired using my hard-earned pension money. The system is mine and I maintain it. Nevada Energy does not. I supply energy I don't use back to the grid at only 75% of its worth. It should be 100%, but I manage because what choice do I have against all-powerful Nevada Energy? As Nevadans, we are stuck with Nevada Energy, a monopoly for-profit arm of Berkshire Hathaway. Nevada Energy, for all their warm and fuzzy advertising, have shown themselves to be untrustworthy by overcharging customers for decades, slipping in charges for fancy hotel rooms, limos, flights, and alcohol for Berkshire Hathaway executives, and chipping away at solar and energy efficiency programs because, of course, the more energy we use, the more they profit. Consumers need to know what exactly this daily demand charge money is going to be used for. Why is Nevada Energy the only for-profit utility in the nation to propose this charge? It looks to me like gravy for investors on top of the $148 million rate hike the Commission has already approved. It does nothing to improve the lives of everyday Nevadans. If Nevada Energy truly wants to incentivize electricity conservation, how about starting at the top for a change with corporations who are the real energy hogs and not with the people who are just trying to survive amidst rising costs on all fronts? As a longtime Nevada resident and consumer, I am urgently requesting your Commission to not implement the daily demand charge, to provide real oversight and accountability to Nevada Energy, and prioritize affordability by adding more solar and battery storage facilities over expensive gas plants. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
All right. My name's Andrew Cole. I'm a student at UNLV, Public Policy. I'm also here as part of CHISPA, a wonderful organization I've recently been involved with. Just want to thank everyone for their homework and due diligence and knowledge. I've learned so much tonight. I don't have solar, but wouldn't want to at this point with all I've heard. One thing I haven't heard brought up, and I just learned from reading Las Vegas Review Journal. Let's see. What hasn't been mentioned is that NV Energy just paid $28 million for a brand new corporate office in Summerlin on a 14.5-acre lot. Their spokesperson, Ms. Delaney, said the utility company purchased the building in preparation for the end of its lease on their current property in Sahara. They said it will be more cost-effective than renting, benefiting both our employees and customers as well. Asking how NV Energy paid for this building, including whether it uses revenue from ratepayers to fund these kind of deals, Delaney said the utility makes purchases and investments up front And then, quote, all expenses are reviewed and approved by the Public Utilities Commission of Nevada before any costs are included in customer rates, end quote. And also that, NV Energy will bring forward this item in a future rate case to be reviewed for approval by the commission. So obviously we're gonna be requesting, don't approve that. But going back to the $60 million that was spent on this campaign that wasn't from ratepayer money, also $28 million for a building that was paid up front without ratepayer money. So how much money does NV Energy just have like laying around? Like how many millions, there's like how many piles of multiple millions of dollars are they just sitting on? I would love to know the answer to that question. As many have brought up, they cannot be trusted with money. As others have brought up, they're the only for-profit regulated monopoly. Like that's not how communism's supposed to go. Like that's what, like, it is a regulated public monopoly for our benefit because the expense of building multiple infrastructure lines to, like you can't have a free market competition. We can't have three companies with multiple infrastructures for energy. You get one, and that's where we're stuck with it, and that's why it's regulated. So clearly, it needs more regulation. That's really all I have. Yeah, just really, my only final point here, when it's poor people getting like food stamps, we're told like, well, that's more money that you have to spend on drugs and alcohol and like cake and evil things like that. So yeah, that money might not have come out of ratepayer funds, but that would have been money that could have been applied to serving Southern Nevada. Thank you.
Okay, the next card I have is Maria Prentice. I think, yeah, that's what I thought. Elizabeth Flores. Yeah. Alicia Cruz. Alicia Cruz. Marisol Harper. Marisol F-E-I, oh, is that you? Fantastic. And Juan Reyes. Juan? He's here, okay. You're gonna go get him?
No, he's right here. He just needs assistance.
Oh, okay.
Semi-blind. He's right here.
Oh, okay, great. Well then, Marisol, if you wanna go ahead, while, we're getting assistance here from Mr. Reyes. And can you say your last name?
Bisuet.
Bisuet?
Ujú. Hola, mi nombre es Marisol Bisuet y soy miembro de Maker of Nevada. Para mí es muy importante que sigamos responsabilizando a NV Energy y evitemos que sigan subiendo las tarifas. Estos aumentos me afectan porque soy el único adulto en casa. Cuido a mis 4 hijos. Les pido por favor y miren cuánto gana una persona promedio. Yo hoy les puedo decir, son $12.50 la hora. Si hacemos cuentas por 40 horas, son $2,000 al mes. Si a eso le restamos una renta de $1,300, me sobran $700. Que eso lo tengo que dividir entre comida, transporte, porque tengo que llevar mis niños a la escuela, necesito transporte para ir al trabajo y conseguir dinero. Y claro, la luz. ¿Cuánto puede ganar una persona promedio? La verdad, ya no queda para comprar zapatos, ropa, útiles. Si suben la luz, va a ser un sueño poder comprar un par de zapatos a mi hijo, a mis hijos. Por favor, no suban los precios, ayuden a la comunidad. Y quiero reiterar que chequen cuánto está ganando una persona aquí en Las Vegas, para que puedan medir los gastos y por medio de esto ustedes se basen en costos más justos para nosotros. Gracias.
Does Mr. Reyes want to speak?
He just wants me to tell you a little bit about his story, if that's okay.
That's fine, you can speak.
Juan Reyes is one of our members. He is, as you can see, he's handicapped. He works limited time due to his handicap, but he was told that if he bought solar panels, that he would be able to save a lot of money. Well, the solar panel company didn't just lie to him, but they also ruined his roof. he paid off the solar panels, so he doesn't have any warranty on it because he paid it off in full. Then his electricity bill for the first year was low cost, so it was $50, $70. And just recently, in the past 2 months, he received bills for $600 and $700. Something that is ridiculous, and he doesn't understand. He doesn't consume a lot. As a matter of fact, he was taking vacation in Mexico, so there was no consumption in his home. With that being said, his roof continued to leak due to the bad installation of the solar panels, and now he has to deal with the high cost of the electricity bill. Something, again, that for a person in his state is not easy for him to be able to pay. So he fears that he will have to find a different job that he can go ahead and do with his capabilities. So he just wants to know, let you guys know that this is a hardship, not just for normal people, but it's a hardship for people that have handicap disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Actually, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break, so we will be back at 7:50. the next card I have is for Alex Simpson. Okay, great, Mr. Simpson, come on up, and then I have Julie Kemp. Ms. Kemp, yep, go ahead and sit right there, and you can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
Ooh, well, you guys certainly do keep the AC pumping. I hope we're not being charged for that.
Actually, the microphone.
Oh, this one?
No, it's the other one.
This one? Just hit it.
We turn the, oh, it's still off. Give it another tap. There you go.
Oh.
Green is good, red is bad. There we go, it's on. So
There we
turn
go.
it on for you.
Okay.
Fantastic. And the room gets crowded, we have to turn the AC.
No worries.
I know it's a little chilly. Go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening to all us. My name is Alex Simpson. I'm here as a volunteer with PLAN, and here to oppose the rate hike and the new daily demand charges and ask for a change to NV Energy's perspective in how they view the impact of changes that affect not numbers, but real people, people that need energy to survive in one of the two fastest warming cities in the United States, the other being Reno, of course. The current rate changes are antithetical to NV Energy's supposed purpose of helping their customers and ignorant to the context of the general public's current economic woes. This is there is an affordability crisis with no end in sight, and with an increased severity that strikes at the public's ability to meet their basic needs. It would not be out of the realm of possibility to meet and or exceed customer needs if NV Energy were to accelerate and expand equitable access to solar for businesses, small, large, and to, more importantly, the public. It is reasonable to be charged for the use of the utility, but it is also reasonable to be charged an equitable rate so as not to put undue strain on any one person's ability to meet their basic needs and survive. Survival is what a lot of you have been just talking about. To survive, especially in a city that last year had 36 days at or over 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and of course every year it gets hotter and hotter. It is unreasonable to pass rate hikes and rate changes that endanger lives, as we've heard over and over again. And we know that lives are increasingly at risk when these changes happen. Please, please consider the public who's not only your obvious large engagement, but are human beings that are just trying to scratch out a living in an increasingly difficult city.
My name is Julie Kemp, and I have lived in Southern Nevada for 25 years, currently residing in Henderson. 3 years ago, I decided to purchase an electric vehicle and to move towards a more environmentally friendly mode of transportation. When I did the research to have my EV charger installed, I decided it was also a good time to have solar installed on my home. Ever since installing solar and driving my EV, I love knowing that I'm using the sun to charge my vehicle and power my home. My low monthly NV Energy bill has also been a huge benefit. When I first had my solar installed, the monthly connection fee with NV Energy was only $13 a month. So you can imagine my disappointment when just a year later that fee increased over 46% to $19. Now, just 3 years since installing solar, I heard that NV Energy intends to add a demand charge based on the highest 15 minutes of usage during the day, without any clear explanation of how much this will actually cost us individual customers. As an EV owner, this immediately had me concerned, as during charging, my usage is obviously extremely high. The only way to reduce it would be to slow down the charging rate, pulling less kilowatts per hour. After having invested a lot of money in my EV and my hardwired charger setup, now I will be penalized by NV Energy every time I charge my vehicle at max speed. Even at max level 2 charging, saying it's slower to charge an EV than it is to fill up a tank of gas is an understatement. Yet now I would be expected to either slow down my charging or pay a premium for charging at my full level 2 capacity, which already takes over 5 hours. Not only is this demand charge a punishment for those of us who already have solar and or EVs, it's a deterrent for those who have been considering making either one or both of those investments. In a day and age when we all should be doing what we can to live more sustainable lives and move towards green energy, this feels like the complete opposite of an incentive to encourage our family, friends, and neighbors to do just that. Climate change is real, and NV Energy ought to be doing whatever they can to help slow it down, not accelerate it. I can't help but wonder if this is a partisan issue in support of the current administration encouraging increased fossil fuel use, sending us back in time, rather than investing in and encouraging green energy and moving us forward. Simultaneously, it feels pretty clear that NV Energy is taking advantage of their monopoly on the private energy market here in Nevada, with this extra charge solely benefiting their shareholders and not us residents. It is the responsibility of PUCN to keep in mind the best interest of residents in Nevada. I hope that you will take this into consideration and will reconsider how this new demand charge is nothing but a negative on individuals, our community, and the environment. Thank you for your time.
Okay, the next card I have is, last name is B-A-O, Al. Okay. Salma Garcia. Is that you? Great. Okay, and then Melissa Ramos. Ramos. Okay. I admire all of the people that stick with it. Ryan Hilbert. Hilbridge. No. And Chris Boss. Boss, B-O-S-S. Marilyn Miller. Okay, great. So go ahead. And we will introduce you thereafter.
Okay, thank you. Hi, my name's Salma. Me and my husband are solar panel owners who won't finish their our payments for like many years. And that wasn't an easy decision, but we chose that because NV energy prices kept going up, and now they're wanting to change the way credits work and raise prices for NV energy users. That's just not right. So I'm here to plead you guys to please prioritize our families and Nevadans. I'm a mother to an autistic child, and as you know, like we have way too much bills coming in and medical fees, ABA therapy, and it's just not fair to keep adding on to families like me. Thank you.
Start. Hello, my name is Marilyn Miller, for the record. I know you mentioned about us sticking around. I've worked actual public meetings until midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning, so this is nothing in comparison to, that's the reason why I'm sticking around. And no breaks, by the way, there are no breaks in those. So I wasn't prepared to really speak tonight because I actually found out about this meeting while I was at work through social media. So I thought I'd just show up anyway, since I did know about a little bit about this rate hike that's going on. Berkshire Hathaway closed their stock, Class A, at $736,600 today. Does it sound like they're hurting? No. If Warren Buffett had to buy that stock, he would say it's inflated. Benjamin Graham would tell Warren Buffett that stock is overinflated. But and yet now we have to answer or have to pay for these investors through our hard-earned money. If my parents had to pay the bills that are coming out right now, and I grew up in a very large family of 10 kids, there's no way they would make it. There's no way. I live next to 3 seniors that are living off of Social Security only. I can't even imagine what they're about to go through. I may end up helping them because of this. And my sister on top of that. There's no way that you can sit there at the beginning of this meeting and say, this is what's reasonable. I tell you what, here's what's reasonable. What if you took your car into the shop to get the oil change and they told you they were gonna charge you per mile to change that oil instead of a flat rate fee? That's what we're looking at. But this is a necessity to have the energy, otherwise people will die in the heat. I have my air conditioning set at 85 in the summer while I'm at home, when I get home. And I have a neighbor that texts me and says, hey, is your air conditioning is turning off at any point in time? I said, no, not until I turn it up to 87. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I have been learning to conserve energy since I was a kid because we had so many children in our house. But now what? We're being punished
There's a majority of these people that come in and we're now being punished for conserving our energy, like we're being told, especially during the summer, and we can't get ahead. How are we supposed to get ahead of this when we have an administration that is crushing us with inflation? That's it.
Thank you. Okay, the next card I have is for Jade Gold. Okay, and then Tallis Hill. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Gold.
Thank you. My name is Jade Gold. I am a Desert Storm Air Force veteran. I didn't know anything about this meeting, but I came because of the passion for Quinn Thomas. And now I am even more assured that I was sent for a reason. I'm going to be reading on her behalf and then end with my own comments. My name is Quinn, and I'm here today not just as a consumer of NV Energy, but as someone who is fed up, tired of being overcharged and misled and ignored. For decades, NV Energy has built its profits on the back of hardworking Nevadans. This isn't a one-time mistake, it's a pattern. The company has been under investigation for misconduct for many times. I'm sure we can all agree. They are under investigation right now in this very moment, are overcharging tens of thousands of people in services that they were trusted to deliver. The Nevada Bureau of Consumer Protection found $16 million in inappropriate corporate expenses, things like luxury hotels, limousines, liquor, staff retreats, and NV Energy tried to make us pay for it. The PUCN had to strip those charges out. They should have never happened in the first place. Yet instead of accountability, we're told our bills are going up 9% next year. Nevada Energy, over $2 million in new revenue. How is this justice? Well, it's not justice. And I came today with a message that is passionate and both to arm the people. Because what if everyone in this room had access to an attorney and a legal plan to bring legal action against the company that is trying to make it unaffordable? It breaks my heart to hear these stories. My mom has stage 4 liver cancer. I have to run generators and oxygen for her care on a daily basis. I chose to move here from Houston, Texas. I paid off my solar energy because I was told that it would keep my bills at an affordable and low rate. And even as well at times that I have been doing. It breaks my heart to hear these stories of hardworking Nevada's customers and citizens. And there's no way you can tell me that anybody in this room or anyone else approved these charges. And I'm going to make sure that everybody in this room has access to legal representation, because if their voices aren't heard here, maybe they'll listen to some attorneys that are representing them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tallis Hill. I'm speaking to you guys today as a disabled vet. I'm also a member of Chispa, Nevada. My family's disabled. I'm disabled. We live on a fixed income. We decided to go get solar to lower our bills because we know how hot it gets out here. We know how much our power bill gets sapped by having our AC on. So that was a choice we made. Now we have, thanks to you guys' most recent approval, y'all made our solar like pretty much pointless. We're not going to be able to reap the benefits of like having a lower bill because now we're going to be charged more. On top of that, with that on-demand charge, it's like we're going, it's nice right now because it's going to be lower. But what happens in August, July and August when it's 120 degrees outside in the sun and our AC has to run? That 15 minutes is going to be a boon for them, for NV Energy. So I can't understand or think how that is supposed to be helpful to us. I hope you guys reconsider your position on that, because that on-demand part in and of itself is not helpful for anybody in Nevada except for NV Energy and their shareholders. Thank you.
Okay, the next card I have is for Lawrence West. Mr. West? No? Okay.
today as a renter, community member, and community organizer for API Nevada. I'm here to speak in strong opposition to proposed energy rate hikes. As a renter, I don't have control over things like insulation, old appliances, or outdated air conditioning systems in my home, but I am the one who has to pay the bill when energy costs go up. Like so many renters, I'm already budgeting carefully just to afford rent, food, and transportation. Every extra dollar on my power bill means something else has to give. When prices go up, people like me don't have the option to install solar panels or upgrade to energy-efficient systems. We just get higher bills and no relief. It's unfair that the financial burden falls hardest on those of us with the fewest choices. Our community deserves affordable, reliable energy, not rate hikes that push renters and low-income families closer to the edge. I urge you to stand with everyday people, not corporate profits, and to look for real solutions that reduce costs and expand access to clean, affordable energy for everyone, including renters. We can't afford another rate increase. We must protect the people who are doing their best to stay afloat in a system already stacked against them. Thank you for your time and listening to the voices of the community.
Good evening, Commissioner Cordova and staff. My name is Jordan Divas, and I'm speaking today as both a community member and an advocate for youth representation. Thank you for allowing me the space to speak on an issue that touches the core of so many Nevada families, including my own. Growing up here in Las Vegas, my family learned what sacrifice really looks like. We kept the lights off during the day. We did laundry long after midnight. We kept the thermostat so low we could see our breath in the winter and so high in the summer that we'd lie awake sweating through the night. Still, the bills climbed higher. I remember summers when my parents would say, just hold off a little longer before turning on the AC. No one, no child, no parent, no elder should ever have to choose between their health and their ability to keep the lights on. What's happening now is more than just numbers on a balance sheet. It's a transfer of burden from corporations to working families. These rate increases are not just adjustments. They are decisions that force the poorest to pay the highest price. They exploit necessity. Energy is not a luxury, it is a lifeline, and yet the harder families work to conserve, the more impossible it becomes to keep up. These cycles of rate hikes don't reflect shared sacrifice, they reflect imbalanced power. Families who rent, who already juggle inflated costs and limited control over their energy efficiency, are being squeezed while some corporations continue to post record profits. That is not sustainability, that is systemic extraction. I urge this commission to see beyond the ledgers and forecasts, to see the people behind them. Every vote taken here determines who bears the cost of living in Nevada. Each increase reverberates through the lives of students studying by candlelight, parents rationing hours of cool air, and elders enduring heat waves in silence because they fear another unaffordable bill. Leadership means standing with the public when it's hardest, not when it's convenient. I ask you to make a choice that puts people before profit, that protect renters, workers, and families who are doing everything right and still falling behind. We need a commission that reflects courage, not complacency. The community is watching, and so are the generations who will inherit the consequences of your decisions. Thank you.
The next card I have is Fred Smith. Okay, and then Jeff Ames. Mr. Smith.
Before I even get started, I've sat here for over 2 hours, so I expect the time that I took to make sure that what I put down gets heard and is very important to me, and I hope it's just as important to you. Again, my name is Fred Smith, and I want to talk about a couple of issues. Daily demand charges has increased over time. Residential reduction charges are too low and doesn't help people like myself. We know, the people, that you guys care, but how much do you really care about the lower income people such as myself? My bills are different from yours because me and some other people are on fixed incomes. And we have to make choices about our living or the higher prices of these energy prices. I oppose these outrageous billing prices that we as the people have to suffer through. I lived here since 2017. Maybe it's not as long as some other people have, but it's been long enough. I have been on this path as far as coming to these meetings to discuss Nevada energy. And I'm outraged that nothing has been done to accommodate most of these people. These hearings are nothing but, that I feel, is a waste of time, because you guys don't address our needs publicly as we discuss them openly so all can hear. I was overcharged when I was renting a 2-bedroom apartment in 2017. I am now in a house and I'm still being overcharged in 225. Again, Nevada Energy is doing nothing to make the consumer feel that they're being helped with these overcharges. They say that they'll give you half back or a portion of some of these bills, and that's just not enough. Going solar is the way to go for the future, and the future is now. And some of these programs out there, it really should be easy to get solar, but there's obstacles and loopholes, as well as financial support or the reduction programs of lower income families like myself that really don't help. As you can tell, there are people like me who are in need of change, and you guys have the power. You guys have the power to make that change, because we, the people, can't make that change except for through our voices, which I honestly pray that will be heard in a powerful impact today. They say that Las Vegas is increasing in population and popularity, but the roads are still hazardous, and the homeless population has not been addressed. Even with these new companies, such as movie companies and the F1 that's going to be here for the next couple of years, our state will be receiving money that's coming from them, but we as the residents, we don't get nothing from that, let alone our bills will probably still be overcharged. What a shame for the little guys like myself who gets nothing but grief. As a United States Navy veteran who served for my country in many wars like Desert Storm, Operation Provide and Comfort, as well as having tours in Iraq and Kuwait, what a disgrace for a soldier like myself to come back to my country and now is suffering from not only physical and mental problems, but decisions that have to be made about my bills, about my medications, let alone my food. Please, yeah, I got one more. Thank you very much. Please help us out so that we can stop fighting these wars about Nevada energy and fight more better stuff that is more meaningful to the people like myself. And I got one question for you. What will you guys do tonight as you sleep, thinking about this hearing and the numbers of complaints and the unresolved issues that we as the people have to face on a daily situation? Thank you very much.
Mr. Ames.
Yeah, hi. My name's Jeff Ames. I've been here in Las Vegas for 44 years. I've never been to one of these before. I always just trust you guys or take care of business. And I have to tell you a couple things. I was a chief technology officer, employee number 1 for Switch. I'm sure you know who Switch is. I spent a lot of years in technology. And I say that for the reason you'll soon hear. I retired in 2010. I just wanted you to know I'm not ignorant to the power industry or to technology. I want to tell you a true story. We had a fire in September 3rd, 1922 on our home. The fire department pulled the meter, red tagged it because the panel was melted. We didn't even live in that house for almost a year as it was being renovated. Yet, after the panel was pulled, I got power bills for 4 months for over $300 a month. Of course, I called the company. I asked what's going on. I was assured that they would get to the bottom of it. They assured me they sent out a meter reader, which is funny because there was a hole in the wall Finally, after several months of battling this, they kind of heard me, and I talked to the person on the phone, said, "You have an iPhone?" "Yeah." "Let me FaceTime you." Walked out to the house, showed them a picture of the hole in the wall. Suddenly the bills went away. Didn't hear anything. No explanation, no apology, just crickets, right? So months later, I'm walking from the mailbox, and my neighbor comes out and says, "Jeff, something funny. I pay my bills automatically, don't pay much attention to it, and all of a sudden I got a $3,000 or whatever it was bill from Nevada Energy because they billed me zero for the months." Guess what? They were billing my house as his house, and his house as my house. My point is this: nobody can tell me that this stuff is trustworthy. We've already experienced the situation right now where NV Energy, I think some thanks goes to you for catching a bad coding issue where you're charging multi-tenant families, and now they're going back and having to pay those people back. So I just don't trust the whole remote meter thing. Furthermore, with hackers attacking major corporations every day, over 236 successful ransom attacks globally every day, and over 7,675 new vulnerabilities discovered every day in technology, yielding $10.5 billion in costs to companies and individuals. I just don't trust the electronic meters. I don't think they're safe, secure, or accurate, and it's simply impossible for anybody to claim they are. And furthermore, this is especially proven in recent events that we just mentioned, this bad coding. Now you have to refund millions of dollars to improperly billed customers. Who pays for that? Where's that come from? As a customer who doesn't trust the remote metering system, I want my old meter back. I don't care if they have to pay for a meter reader. Good, that's another job. There's a lot of people looking for jobs. And I want a bona fide third-party way to audit my meter. I want to know that what I'm being told I'm being charged is what I'm really using, because I don't believe it. I think it's too easy for them to, I'm not saying anybody's out scamming, but then you throw on top of this new plan of net metering. It's intrusive. It's a privacy intrusive. It's a dollar intrusive. And for the people that are going to be home during the day, most vulnerable, they have to pay, they have to use the energy during the day. Not the ones that are at work that can turn everything down in the summer. They're going to be the ones hurt the most. This is the dumbest idea I've heard, which is why this is my first time here. You got to just stop it. Just knock it off. This is not the way to go. Tell them enough's enough gouging, and I do, and I will follow up, and I'm going to follow up, and I'm going to find a way to be able to monitor what I'm being charged. And I'm going to make sure that there are ways that other people can find out how they're being charged, so we're not getting ripped off by mistakes or intentional fudging. Thank you.
Okay, the next
Thank you for your service, sir.
is Kevin Yang. And then I also have Gabriel Rejo. Okay, Mr. Yang, you go first.
Thank you, members of this commission. My name is Kevin Yang. I'm a constituent and a youth organizer here in Las Vegas. With the rising cost of energy, families across the state have already struggled with monthly bills. The approval of the new billing structure of NV Energy that goes into effect in April of next year increasingly punishes lower-income families in Nevada who don't have as much of a flexibility to shift their electricity usage. On top of that, the changes in net metering also further punishes solar owners in many parts of the state, making it harder for them to offset that excessive energy generation. Instead of asking individuals and entities who have more of the ability to pay, we have once again chosen to put more burden on Nevadan families and working families. We're putting more burden on families who have to choose whether to keep their lights on or purchase groceries for the next week. In a state where NV Energy has a monopolistic control over utilities, this commission is the only shield for consumer protection and for all Nevadans to live a dignified life. I really hope this commission reconsiders this decision and think about working residents in Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, community. My name is Gabriel Cornejo, and many of you know who I am, but if you don't, by July, primaries next year, you will. I'm here on behalf of not only myself, I'm here on behalf of my 90-year-old grandfather, my 86-year-old grandmother, my 89-year-old great aunt, and I won't dare share my age of my mother. Because I'm the patriarch of my family, I'm a protector, not only for my family, but now I've chosen to also extend that to the rest of Nevada. And what I'm seeing here, and I wanted to share the story, is we have a narrative that's happening in this state. We are number 1 in repossessions of vehicles. We are number 3 in foreclosures. We are seeing record high credit card debt, and we are seeing people be squeezed, including my family. When my mother moved here, I advised her to get a solar panel and to get a battery because I knew that we were strained with energy. And because of my background, I was in charge of the nation's largest smart meter project for Southern California Edison. I set installation records and I helped them accomplish what was a very challenging feat. But here we are, seeing our community be squeezed financially. And at this moment, I'm imploring you, with all this negative press that we're seeing, because we're seeing our economy here locally especially get squeezed, it's time for us to have a positive headline. And I believe that that's something that can be done, because I know that we have the capacity to produce energy here in this state in a more cheap and efficient manner. So while all this negative press exists, I'd like to pitch that idea that you guys consider. What if the headline was that you cut the rates and gave energy to our citizens and our residents in a time that we know that technology is going to require and demand more energy? And so instead of us having these headlines that are just purely negative, we lead the front on solutions. That's something that can be done, but that's only if you hear us. And I know you heard most of the community today. This is the direction I think that we could head in. And this is what I implore you to push for, because I know in the private sector, I'm working day and night to try to bring solutions to our community, running across the country, speaking with those inventors that have solutions for us. Because of my background, I'm happy to offer and lend that expertise if there's something that I can do to be of service. Because right now, average Nevadans, they deserve better than surviving paycheck to paycheck. And many people are feeling less than that each and every day as we go forward. But you guys can be the bright light. You guys can present the solutions and the headlines that bring Nevada and Las Vegas to the forefront of how we can drive into the future with energy. Thank you.
Okay, the next card I have is Tucker J. Okay, yes. And then I have Linda Yan.
Adjust this. Hey, a lot of the reason that you had such a large attendance in this meeting is because I made a viral video that was seen by over 30 million people catching you in the act of what you were allowing Nevada Energy to do, which was to systemically and continuously take advantage of consumers. It was very hard for me to get here tonight. Do you know why? Because I work, just like a lot of other people that work very hard, who have to find that $20 or $30 or $35 that NV Energy so dismissively says is not going to be much of an impact. And indeed, that they tell us, oh, you may actually not see a rate increase. But while there are obviously thousands of people interested in this, hundreds of people who showed up tonight, I find it interesting that once again, Nevada's governor doesn't seem to actually give a shit or do anything to address the systemic abuses caused by NV Energy or anyone else. And let me be very clear to you. I am just getting started for each and every one of you sitting in that place. You have fundamentally misunderstood what your role is. You think that you're supposed to sit and listen to us talk about how we plead you not to reduce our bills, not to increase our bills. I apologize. You think that you're hearing us say, please don't increase our bills. And indeed, hundreds of people said, please don't increase our bills. But that is not what we expect of you. We expect you to reduce those bills because NV Energy has a unique role with the state of Nevada. Furthermore, It is an absolute disgrace that our state is investing so many resources in importing warehouses, cinema, a baseball stadium, which will incidentally never be built, let alone the monstrosity of a sphere which takes up as much energy as 23,000 homes. But let us not dismiss what's actually happening. You can stand here and have your meeting, have this little time, pretend that you're hearing our feedback, but what is happening, as you well know, is rate hikes across this country are systemically being put in place with one main goal. The lust and thirst that the billionaires have to increase things like data centers. They cannot build their data centers without extracting money from us as consumers. And everywhere where there have been data centers going, there have been massive, unsustainable increases in the cost of energy, as much as 267%, all while you allow NV Energy to run around and fleecing Nevada residents. As if it's funny. They laugh at your face trying to charge tickets to sporting events and alcohol and liquor and hotel rooms and fancy places and travel. And they laugh at you. But more importantly and worse, they laugh at us. You should be outraged. And what I see sitting from the back of that room is I see a bunch of people sitting there with inaction on your face. And perhaps that's because you have the privilege of sitting in that chair as has it been afforded to you. But a lot of people took time off work to come here tonight to beg you to stop. And I'm going to be one of the last people that does that. And I hope that you actually do make some change. Thank you very much for your time.
Speakers, I wasn't prepared to come here tonight. I don't have a prepared speech. I found out about this meeting on social media. But after I heard all of these stories from our local community members, my neighbors, Nevadans, I just feel like I need to speak up. And locals are being priced out. The cost of living crisis is real. And everything costs more. Groceries, rent, and now utility bills. And this is actually my first time attending this public meeting, and I don't know whether if our voice matters here, because I think a lot of the people in this room have been to so many public meetings, but I've been watching over and over again that the people in power always put special interest over people's interest. I'm tired. It's after 8 p.m. and we the people are tired. But when I walked into this room, I saw hundreds of people that even though we are tired, but we showed up because we love this community so much that we know that the locals are struggling, and the Public Utilities Commission is our protection, and you have the power to say no to increase our rate. And the people in this room will continue to fight because we love our community enough to fight for it. Thank you.
Okay, the next card I have is for Tony Simmons. And then that's the last card that I have, so if I missed anybody or anybody's still here that didn't get a chance to speak, please let me know after Mr. Simmons speaks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Tony Simmons, TonySimmons. First, I'm going to thank you guys for your fealty to the Constitution. 9 years ago, I sat here and shared their opinion, exactly. But I knew there was something I didn't know, and I spent 9 years figuring out you guys have a higher, that all government employees have a higher calling that we don't appreciate. And that we have to understand that before we can judge. On the demand charges, I'm going to read from 2015 Senate Bill 374. I'm getting it off of the legislature's website. This is what 61 of 62 legislatures agreed to in 2015. A demand charge that reflects the marginal demand costs incurred by the utility to provide service to customer generators. 10 years ago, 61 of 62 legislators thought a demand charge for customer generators was the right thing to do. Later on, in the same bill, that was on page 11 of the bill. On page 12, it talks about demand costs. Demand costs means those costs associated with the maximum load requirement of a customer. That is a calculation. I'm authorized to do it. I'm a professional engineer, Berkshire Hathaway shareholder and a Nevada Power customer. Basically, what the problem we have is that the media is not explaining what the legislature and the commission are doing in the context of their duties to the Constitution. And that's the biggest problem we have in Nevada. I understand what you're doing. I fully understand it. I don't necessarily like it, but I understand that's what you have to do. And it took me 9 years to figure that out. And I want to thank you for your fidelity to the Constitution. Thank you.